What is going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadski, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. In today's video, we are going to be overviewing all of the new stuff in version 8.0.0. The maintenance has finally finished, and now we can go ahead and enter the game and have a look at what there is in the brand new version of One Piece Treasure Cruise. So we are on the notice board right now. And there are a couple of new banners that we are going to be talking about. First one is the new limit breakable characters. So these characters you can now limit break in the limit break system, which is awesome. So once you complete treasure map and you'll get all your rewards, you can go ahead and start limit breaking these characters in addition to the characters that were already limit breakable. So we have 5-star Zoro, which is the original Ashura Zoro. This does include the 5+ Zoro as well. You have Legend Whitebeard, Raid Aokiji, Legend Bato, Speed Jiru, Roronoa Zoro Bird Dance. Which one was that? I think that's 5+ Zoro. Then you have Whitebeard 4 Emperors, which is his 6+ version. Shirahoshi, Mr. Zero, which is the one from the NL batch, the crocodile from there. You've got Cat Viper, you have Raid Virgo, and also Raid Sanji. So all of these characters you can now limit break. But I wouldn't recommend spending potions just yet. My recommendation would be to go ahead and save up all of your limit break materials first, and then go ahead and choose which ones you want to do at the end of treasure map. So that's awesome. All of these characters are now limit breakable in One Piece Treasure Cruise. Let's move on though. The next one is, this is the basic update that it's talking about, so we already knew about that. However, we have treasure map versus Mihawk. So this is the brand new banner they've added. This is to promote the new treasure map, obviously versing Mihawk. So if we click on this, we get taken to the treasure map menu where it lists everything regarding this new Mihawk and also the characters that you will need in order to use in order to get point boosts during treasure map. So here we have treasure map versus Mihawk between the 20th of March at midnight all the way to March 24th at midnight PST time. So make sure you have that marked down in your calendar so you know when you need to farm treasure map Mihawk. He'll only be available for 4 days, 4 or 5 days, so make sure to go ahead and farm it because this guy is amazing. So we have Hawkeye Mihawk, 5-star unit. He drops as a 4-star. You have to evolve him into 5-star. When you evolve him into a 5-star unit, you'll notice that he isn't very good because his captain ability is a lot weaker and his cooldown is extremely high. The thing about treasure map is when you complete treasure map, you will get rewards to limit break this character, and when you limit break him, along his limit break tree, he gets less cooldown and he also gets captain ability upgrades. And this specific Mihawk that you're going to be seeing here is after he's been fully evolved and fully limit broken, okay? So max level 99, maxes at 14 turns. Special is deals 100 times his attack in typeless to all enemies. If your captain is a slasher, gives you a 2.75 chain lock and double slot effects for slashes for 1 turn. So that is such an amazing special. You get wave clear, chain lock, and an orb boost, a 2x orb boost, and a 2.75 chain lock. That is such an amazing unit, right? However, he has a very, very good captain ability as well. His captain ability, when it resets, is boost slasher characters attack by 2.5 times and a 1.3 HP boost. But then if you go ahead and use his special, you will go ahead and get a 3.5 times captain ability boost to your slasher units. So 1.3 health, 3.5 attack to slashes when you use his special. When you don't use his special, it's just 2.5. But overall, this unit is probably the best free-to-play slasher in the entire game. He is phenomenal, and you must max his character. He is fantastic, and you are going to be using this guy a lot. You know, that wave clear is no joke. Even if you're not using him on a slasher team, but even on a Lucy team, literally just for the wave clear is phenomenal. 100 times his attack is amazing. Then you've got 2 crewmate abilities. He boosts the attack of slashes by 50 for one of his crewmate abilities, and the other one, he will make characters' quick slots have matching slot effects. So I'm pretty sure that's for himself, not for all units, but he gives himself so that quick orbs are beneficial, which means that he has no negative orbs, which is absolutely fantastic. These are his stats. He's got 3460 health, 1628 attack, 266 recovery, 4 combo, 5 slots, and 60 costs. All the treasure map units have 60 cost. So he also gets 2 potential abilities through his limit break tree. He gets critical attack and slot bind resistance, and remember, because he's a free to play unit, you can completely rainbow this character out. Once you limit break him, that is the best way to do it. So you limit break him first, then you start feeding copies and skill books of the character, because he's going to have all the slots available to you, all the sockets, and also the potential abilities will be available to you as well. So you can go ahead, limit break him first, then feed the copies, and he'll be rainbowed, which is amazing. So we get a free rainbow unit. So Mihawk has arrived. By collecting treasure points, you can get treasure rewards such as the new Mihawk and materials needed for his limit break. So I've already mentioned you need to limit break him to get him to his max potential. The new Mihawk with a completed limit break will be super powerful. His special, we've already pretty much talked about his special ability, and he gets crit and also slot bind resistance. He'll surely give a big boost in power for your crew. Play through treasure map many times and take the mighty Mihawk to a new level of power. So you do have to play through treasure map, get to 1 million point threshold. Once you reach the 1 million point threshold, then you can go ahead and get all the materials needed in order to max limit break this character. Moving on, about league assignments. So I mentioned this previously in one of my other previous limit break videos and treasure map videos, is that the fact that the first treasure map works a bit differently, because the way that it works is that there's 3 different leagues. There is the East Blue, the Grand Line, and the New World, and depending on your pirate level is where you'll be placed for the first treasure map. You can move different leagues depending on how well you do in the first treasure map. Anyways, it's got all the information here. So it's dependent on the login between the 1st of February and March 13th. They'll be assigned a league in order of highest pirate level. In case of people with the same pirate level, they will go ahead and determine whoever's account is the oldest will go ahead and be put in the higher bracket. So depending on how that goes, if you have 0 treasure points at the start of treasure map versus at the end of treasure map versus Mihawk, you'll start East Blue League for the next treasure map. So if you literally do not farm this at all, you'll be put in the lowest bracket at the start of the next treasure map. So for the first event, New World League will be 10,000 players, the Grand Line League will be 30,000 players, and the East Blue League, players who are not a part of the above. So the top 40,000 players in terms of pirate level will be put into, you know, the Grand Line or the New World League, and then everyone else will be in the East Blue League. Second event onwards, depending on the final rank, players will be promoted or demoted from a specific league. So for the New World League, you will go ahead and get demoted. So from the top bracket, the New World, if you rank 8,000 or below, you will go ahead and get demoted into the Grand Line tier. So you have to be in the top 8,000 of the New World in order to stay in the New World tier, because remember, there's only going to be 10,000 players, so the bottom 20% of players will be demoted into the Grand Line tier. Then for the Grand Line, if you're in the middle tier, in the Grand Line tier, you will go up to the next tier if you reach 2,000 rank or above, and then you'll be demoted from the Grand Line tier down to East Blue if you're 20,000 or below. So, you know, there's only 30,000 players in the Grand Line tier, so if you're 20,000 or higher, you're good, but if you're below that 20,000 threshold, you'll be demoted to East Blue, and then if you're in the East Blue, the top 10,000 get promoted. So if you basically keep swapping and changing, the way that it works is that there's going to be 10,000 players in the New World, 30,000 in the Grand Line, and the rest of the player base will be in the East Blue tier. So pretty simple to understand. Next, trusty characters. So these are the point booster characters that are very, very important, and if you have these characters, it makes farming treasure map much, much easier. So we have boosted characters that get 2 times treasure points. So if you have these characters in your crew, you get 2 times the amount of treasure points that you normally do. And this character also gets 2.5 times their stats, so recovery, HP, and attack. And they get 10 turns less cooldown at the start of the fight, and that is the new Captain Buggy character, which is available in the SUGO-FEST, which we'll go over after this little treasure map discussion. So this Buggy is the best point booster to get. If you do pull him, that's awesome, because he's the best point booster to have, 2 times treasure mode points. Then you have the next one, which is Zoro. So this Zoro is also available in the SUGO-FEST. He's guaranteed, actually, in the SUGO-FEST. We'll go ahead and get into that. But he's a 1.5 times point booster. So if you have him in your crew, you get 1.5 times the amount of points that you normally do. This Zoro also gets 2.5 times HP, attack, and recovery. And he also gets 10 turns less cooldown at the start of the fight. So literally the exact same with these two, except that Buggy is 0.5 more points than the Zoro. So overall, both of them are very, very nice to have. Next, these characters will be 1.35 times point boosters, and they get 1.2 times HP attack and recovery, and they get 5 turns cooldown reduction at the start of the fight, which is Lucy, and 6+ lore. So this is actually different from the Japanese version. 6+ lore was not here. I believe only Lucy was in this bracket. I don't think there was any other character in this bracket, so that's interesting. I don't really know why lore is here, but it's fine. You know, he gives more points, which is always really, really good. Then, this is the bracket where a lot of people are going to be getting a lot of their points from. So, this bracket is a 1.2 times treasure mode point boost. So, if the following characters are in your crew, they give you an extra 20% points. They get 1.2 stats and also 3 turns less cooldown at the start of the fight. So, we have basically every 6+ in the game thus far, I believe so. Yes? Except for Hody and Sengoku. Those guys are not in this one. They'll probably be point boosters in the next treasure map. So that's cool. So basically every 6+ from here on out is going to be a point booster. So here you go. If you guys were lucky enough to get some of these characters, that is awesome. Next you've got Neko and Shirahoshi, and you also have Bato as legends that will be boosted as well. Bato was a free selection unit, as well as Ace, Whitebeard, Boa, Lucci, Rayleigh, Sabo. So there are a couple of characters there that were from the legend selection. So at least everyone is going to have everyone's going to have at least one of these characters, which is good. Next, you've got the whole new batch, which is Diamante, Bato, Cavendish, and Jesus Burgess. All of these characters are in this pool as well. Colosseum Lucy, Colosseum Kyros, Neo Sabo, V2 Raid Dofi, Raid Sanji, Raid Virgo, Raid Mihawk, and then you've got a couple of Fortnite characters here. And at the bottom, you have the Chopper Man mission Koala. So that Koala is also a 1.2 times point booster as well. So all of these characters are basically, these are the characters you want to build teams with, because they're going to give you the highest amount of points. And the best team that I think straight away is going to be your best bet in order to get a ton of points is going to be a Lucy team with Law on your team, Zora on your team, Buggy on your team, and then probably Colosseum Lucy on your team. And that's going to be the best team to get the most amount of points in this treasure map. Once treasure map comes out, I'm still unsure at this point if I'm going to be home or not during the treasure map. If I am home, I will be able to make content for you guys explaining my first play, maybe not my first playthrough, maybe when I play through it once, I'll do a second playthrough and I'll record that, and we can break down each single event throughout the treasure map so you guys can prepare for it all in all. So that's pretty much the entire treasure map information that we have right now. Treasure map does go live on the 20th of March, which we will be going ahead and farming the hell out of. But now the last thing we're going to talk about before we end this video is going to be the SUGO-FEST, the Treasure SUGO-FEST Part 1, and there is a Part 2 to it as well. 9-day SUGO-FEST starting on the same day that Frankie comes out, so it's this Thursday, Friday, so it's interesting. Treasure Mode SUGO-FEST is here. Basically, this SUGO-FEST features rate boosts for characters who can... basically, okay, so the way that it works is this is a SUGO-FEST where if you pull, you have a high chance to get characters that are point boosters. That's essentially what it is. All wanted posters are guaranteed to be 4-star or better. Man, this is such a bait, Sugo, man. New Zora and Buggy have arrived as SUGO-FEST exclusives. They're called SUGO-FEST exclusives, but they're not legends. They're just regular 4- and 5-star characters. The new versions of Zora and Buggy will join at max level along with the unlocked powers: Despair, Bind, Auto Heal, and Charge Special. The 4-star versions will only have 3 slots, so they don't get every single socket, but they get some sockets, which is good. Characters other than the new Zora and Buggy will join your crew at level 5 without unlocked powers. Get your hands on trusty characters for use in treasure map launching in March, so yes, you can use them for point boosters. For more information on trusty characters, please check the treasure map notice. The new Zora and Buggy will also be useful as trusty characters for the second treasure map event. Wow, actually this is pretty big. This is pretty big. This could change the game, because the thing is, they really made treasure map a pretty big cash grab, and they made it so that if you basically don't have the point boosters, you're going to take forever to farm treasure map. But if they're making it so that characters are going to be boosters for multiple treasure maps, that actually changes the game a lot, and I really hope they continue along this trend. It does say only for the second treasure map. It would be nice it was for every treasure map, and that's what it should be, because there are units that come out in the future that are treasure map point boosters that literally have specials that only work in treasure map, because it's like a special that activates when you're at a certain treasure map level. So This is interesting. I really hope they continue along this route. They're not quite there yet. If they are point boosters continuously for every single treasure map here on out, that's amazing. But it says second, so I'm not hopeful it's going to be for every treasure map, but at least they're going to be point boosters for future maps. So I'm really excited about that. The effects of trusty characters will differ depending on the treasure map event. That's also interesting. So are these characters going to be changed for future treasure maps? That's really interesting. Oh, that's going to be weird. That's really, really weird. The new Zoro and Buggy will no longer be available at Rare Recruit after the 24th of March. Okay, so basically on the last day of treasure, the last day of the SUGO-FEST, after the SUGO-FEST ends, they're not going to be available. However, they may become available again at a later date, so who knows when that's going to happen. The boost effect for treasure points earned only applies to the post-evolution versions of the characters. Characters who can super evolve will have this effect only applied to their super evolution. So that's something that's big as well, is that a character that is listed on the point boost literally has to be that exact character. You can't have the 4-star version of it or the unevolved 6+ version of it. You have to have the fully evolved character in order to use them as a treasure mode point booster. So that's something to note as well. The SUGO-FEST is split into 2 parts, so the first part goes for the first 5 days, and then the second part goes for the next 4 days. Part 1, the second multi-pull, you get a guaranteed new Zoro, so that is going to be the point booster Zoro. He's guaranteed on the second multi. So that's got me tempted, to be honest, to try and potentially go for that guaranteed Zoro, because if he's going to be boosted in future events, and you have a slight chance at getting Buggy along the way, that's actually pretty tempting. So I might do it now. I said before I wasn't going to other people, but because he's guaranteed and he's boosted in other maps, that's a pretty big call for that one. And then 3rd and 6th is just guaranteed to be a red. 9th is guaranteed to be a SUGO-FEST exclusive that will have the following. My bad. Okay, so the 9th multi-pull will give you either Lucy, Magellan, Aokiji, or Bato. I can see right now that a lot of people are probably going to be getting Bato or Aokiji from that. A lot of people who still don't have Lucy probably will do 9 multis for this, and fair enough, because Lucy being guaranteed, nearly guaranteed on the 9th is pretty awesome. You get a 25% chance there. Part 2, the 10th plus 1 recruit, the new Buggy is significantly rate boosted. Okay, so Zoro guaranteed on part 1, but then Buggy is significantly rate boosted on part 2. Don't know how I feel about that. I feel like Buggy should just be significantly rate boosted throughout the entire SUGO-FEST, and Zoro should just be, you know, guaranteed on the 2nd on part 2 as well. I don't know why they're doing that. Or at least make Buggy guaranteed on the 2nd on part 2. That would make sense too, but either way, it is what it is. 3rd and 6th is just a guaranteed red, and on the 9th multiple, you get either Cat Viper, Usopp, Shirahoshi, or Akainu. That's weird that they put Akainu here, because Akainu is not a rate-boosted character. And Magellan's not a rate-boosted character on the 9th there either. So that's really weird. I don't know how I feel about that. SUGO-FEST is interesting. I mean, the fact that Zoro is guaranteed has got me really tempted to pull. But we will see. If I had to suggest to you guys, and people are going to ask, should I pull? I would say no. I would wait until there is another all gold 2x legend rate Sugo. I feel like those are the best SUGO-FEST to pull on. I wouldn't recommend you guys pulling on this SUGO-FEST. I really, really wouldn't. Save your gems until there is a better SUGO-FEST that has 2x legend rate all gold, which at this point I think is probably going to be V2 Dofi, which should be about halfway through the year, and that's when we should be getting that. So look forward to that, and that is what I would suggest for you guys to pull on. But that is going to end this video, guys. Oh my god, I've been talking for so long. I need to get a drink. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video. If you guys have enjoyed it, make sure to smack the like button down below. And if you want to stay up to date with all the content I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. But other than that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.